Let's be honest, ladies. We've all seen this movie before. You're struggling with a grocery bag that weighs more than a small toddler, or you're trying to figure out why the Wi-Fi router is blinking red like a distress signal. You look at the man in your life, waiting for him to swoop in like a caped crusader. And what does he do? He asks, "You got it?" Or worse, he doesn't notice at all. Most dating advice tells you to ask for what you want. Use your words, they say. But here's a secret from the vault of the male psyche. If you have to ask a man to be a provider, the magic is already gone. It feels like a chore. It feels like a honey-do list. Today, I'm going to show you how to flip a switch in a man's brain that makes him crave the chance to protect, provide, and claim you, all without you saying a single word. We're talking about the provider reflex. This isn't about being a damsel in distress. It's about speaking a man's native evolutionary language. Welcome back to Brainy Facts. Grab a notebook because I'm about to betray my entire gender for your benefit. What is the provider reflex? Before we get to the how, we need to understand the why. Every man, regardless of how modern or progressive he claims to be, has an ancient neurobiological drive buried in his DNA. When a man successfully provides for a woman he values, whether that's opening a jar or buying a house, his brain throws a party. We're talking a massive hit of dopamine, the reward chemical, and vasopressin, the bonding hormone. When he provides for you, he doesn't just feel like a good guy. He feels like a winner. He feels essential. In fact, a man can actually become addicted to the way he feels when he's around a woman who knows how to trigger this reflex. Now, here's the kicker. Many of you are high-achieving, independent, I-can-do-it-all women, and that's awesome. But from a man's perspective, if you are a closed circle, if you have zero needs, he looks at you and thinks, she's got it all covered. There's no room for me here. He doesn't leave because he doesn't love you. He leaves because he doesn't feel needed. Today, we're going to open that circle back up. Phase 1. The space for contribution. Phase 1 is about creating a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, and masculine energy is biologically wired to fill it. You don't need to bark orders, you just need to create the space. 1. The art of the pregnant pause. Imagine you're out on a walk and you come across a slightly muddy patch of ground, or you're at home and a light bulb flickers out. Most modern women instinctively jump into fix-it mode. You hop over the mud or grab the ladder. Stop. Next time, try the pregnant pause. When a small obstacle appears, just stop. Look at the obstacle. Then, slowly turn your head and look at him with a silent, expectant gaze. Don't point. Don't sigh. Just look at him like you know he's the man who can handle this. I promise you, his brain will start worrying. He'll think, "Oh, the mud. She needs a hand. I am the hand giver. I shall conquer the mud." It sounds silly, but that 5-second pause is the difference between him feeling like an assistant and him feeling like a hero. 2. High-value vulnerability. Let's talk about body language. If you walk around with your shoulders up to your ears, your phone glued to your face, and a "don't mess with me" stride, you are broadcasting battle mode. A man's provider reflex cannot be triggered when you're in battle mode. Why? Because in battle mode, you are his competitor, not his partner. To trigger the reflex, you need high-value vulnerability. Drop your shoulders, relax your hands, tilt your head slightly when you look at him. This isn't weakness. This is a signal of safety. It tells him, I am safe enough with you to let my guard down. When a man feels he is your safe harbor, he will move mountains to keep it that way. 3. The look of admiration. This is the secret sauce. Men are surprisingly simple creatures. We run on performance reviews. When he's doing something, even something mundane like driving, grilling a steak, or figuring out a map, don't distract him. Just watch him for a moment. When he catches your eye, give him a slow, lingering smile of pure admiration, then look away. You aren't saying anything, but your eyes are saying, I see you being capable, and I love it. That look is like high-octane fuel for his ego. It makes him want to perform even better for you. Phase 2. Mastering the receive. Triggering the reflex is only half the battle. If he steps up and you don't know how to receive, the reflex will wither and die. 1. The radiant reception. Most women respond to a man's help with a polite, "Oh, thanks, you didn't have to do that." In an exaggerated, "don't do this" voice. Gentle reminder, never say, "You didn't have to do that." Even if you mean it as a compliment, he hears, "Your effort was unnecessary." Instead, use radiant reception. When he brings you that coffee or fixes that squeaky door, let your whole face light up. Don't just say thank you. Show him the physical manifestation of your joy. If you look like his small act just made your entire afternoon, he will be looking for the next thing to fix before the sun goes down. A man's greatest fear is inadequacy. Your physical joy is the blue check mark that proves he is adequate. 2. Physical touch as the reward anchor. Now, if you want to take this to the professional level, you have to use anchoring. In psychology, anchoring is when you pair a specific action with a physical sensation. When he does something that triggers his provider reflex, maybe he pulls out your chair or he handles a difficult waiter. Don't just say thanks. Give him a brief, intentional touch. A hand on his forearm, a light squeeze of the bicep, or just leaning your shoulder into his for 3 seconds. Trust me, ladies, we are simple creatures. If every time he provides, he gets a hit of physical warmth from you, his subconscious mind starts connecting, protecting her, with intimacy with her. He won't even know why he's suddenly so eager to carry your heavy bags. He just knows it feels really good when he does. Phase 3, the damsel versus the queen. I know what some of you are thinking. But brainy facts, I'm a boss. I have a career, I pay my own bills, and I don't want to act like a helpless child. Good, because if you act like a helpless child, you won't attract a provider, you'll attract a caretaker. And there is a massive difference. A man doesn't want to feel like he's babysitting you. He wants to feel like he is adding value to a life that is already high quality. Think of it like this. A queen is perfectly capable of pouring her own wine. But when she allows the king to do it, she isn't saying, I can't do this. She is saying, I recognize your role and I appreciate your service. That is where the real power lies. You aren't playing dumb, you are being receptive. The warning, what kills the reflex? Now, we have to talk about the provider killers. You can do all the silent cues in the world, but if you do these 3 things, you'll extinguish that fire faster than a bucket of ice water. 1. The micromanager. If he is carrying the groceries, let him carry them. If he's driving, let him drive. If you start saying, actually, put the milk in the other hand, or you should have taken the left turn back there, you have just demoted him from provider to intern. A man who feels micromanaged will stop trying. Why would he provide for you if he's just going to get a performance critique at the end? 2. The I got it syndrome. These are the 3 deadliest words in a relationship. When he reaches for your coat or tries to pay for dinner and you snap, I got it, you are essentially slamming a door in his face. Even if you can do it, let him do it. Every time you say, I got it, you are telling him, you are redundant here. And a man who feels redundant will eventually find a woman who makes him feel necessary. 3. Premature providing. This is for the ladies in the early dating stages. Do not start providing for him to show him what a good wife you'd be. Don't cook him 4-course meals and clean his apartment in week 3. When you provide for a man too early, you flip the polarity. He becomes the receiver, and his provider reflex goes into hibernation. Let him earn the right to see your nurturing side by letting him lead first. At the end of the day, triggering the provider reflex isn't about tricking a man. It's about creating an environment where he can be his best self. A man doesn't fall in love with you because of how much you do for him. He falls in love because of how he feels about himself when he is with you. If being around you makes him feel like a hero, a leader, and a provider, he will never want to leave your side. Try it this week. Don't say a word. Just use the pause, use the look, and use the radiant reception. You'll be shocked at how quickly he steps up to the plate. If you found these psychological insights helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this content is valuable. And if you want to keep decoding the male mind, hit subscribe to join the Brainy Facts family. While you're here, you should probably check out our other video on the 5 phrases that make him commit right here. I'm Elric Hasen, and remember, the strongest power in a relationship isn't force, it's influence. And influence is always silent. See you in the next one.